Hello, and welcome to Notes 9. I'm David Leedy from LotusNotebook.com. Episode 12, Wikis, Wiki Wonka and his Collaboration Factory. Okay, today I want to talk about the IBM product wikis. These are wikis that are based on the Lotus Notes or the Lotus brand family products, I should say. There's WebSphere wikis, there's Notes, Domino Designer wikis. There's over 25 wikis that are full of good content, tips, and other information. I wanted to do a demo on using them and navigating, but I don't have that kind of time in 9 minutes. So I will say that there are spotlight articles on the home page of the wikis that the wiki leads will monitor, and they're sticky what they think is important. Another cool thing is the product documentation for these different products are coming in wiki format. Specifically, some are there now, like Lotus Expediter is there now. The Lotus Notes documentation should be wikized by hopefully next year. And it's going to be cool because they're going to have the original lock documentation and they're going to have editable documentation. So if you've not liked the notes documentation, you're going to have the chance to go in to the editable version and fix it. There's also Redbook's web deliverables, and this is a Redbook in wiki format. There will also be PDFs available, but a good example of this is the new Building Domino web apps on Domino 8.51, and that's new content that's coming out that is something you want to take advantage of. Okay, now why should you add content to the wiki? Well, if you're a business partner, page views and hits. There's people looking at this content that do not go to Planet Lotus. That they might not know about the blogs. So if you're just a blogger and you're putting content on your own blog, not everyone who needs it is probably seeing it. Some of these wikis are averaging over 160,000 hits per month, so that's a lot of traffic out there. So you might want to take advantage of that. Okay, entering articles. Before you enter an article, Wiki Help. You might want to read it. It's going to talk about these things like headings and links and how you need to format your content. Now let's go to the demo. Okay, so this is the Domino Designer Wiki. And if you click on Add an Article, at any point, you can get to this screen. And you do have to be logged in for this, and this uses the Lotus Notes developer domain user credentials, not the IBM user credentials. So if you're using the Lotus Notes forums, the developer forums for the different version of Notes or so, then you already have a registration that will work here. So you're going to put a subject in. Okay, so nothing too fancy about that. And then now you need your content. Now, if you're taking your content from a website, your old blog posts are great. You have a lot of old blog posts running around. You can pretty much copy and paste them almost. What you really should do is copy them first into like a notepad or just a text editor to strip off, and this is not the one I want, to strip off any of the um, rich, hidden markup and tags and whatever you call that to make it look good, or the rich editing or so, because this editor is not very friendly to that kind of the hidden characters. So if we copy this and oops, and then we do paste. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've copied it in. It could have started from a web page. It could have started from a Symphony document, wherever, a notes document. The articles are going to look best if you first have an introduction paragraph or like an abstract telling the user, the reader, what the article is about. It is important in this introductory paragraph to not have any wiki markup or any HTML in it, at least in the first 150 or so characters, because this will also be displayed in a lot of the views they have on the website. And if you've got any of those weird characters in there, it's going to be seen in the view. Okay, so now the fun stuff. Now you get to make it look pretty, which is not that difficult to do. So one of the first things you might want to do is have some headings in here. And the way you add headings is just two equal signs on the left and to the right of it. You can have a heading 2, a 3, or a 4, and that's the same number of equal signs. And the nice thing about that is if you do that, oops, it's going to automatically build a table of contents for you for your article. So if we look at that, okay, table of contents, nice headings just by adding equal signs. Okay, so let's see the next thing. Okay, now code. Let's look at the code samples because we all like code. So there's special markup for code. Code colon in curly brackets. And then you want to, it's almost like HTML in a way. It's just a markup language. So code and curly black brackets, and let's look at that. And that just kind of puts like a nice little styled box or so. And you can get a little fancier with that code markup, and you can have alternating lines. You can show line numbers, and how do you know how to do all this stuff? Well, I didn't even notice this at first, but this is great. Wiki markup help. Right here it tells you all the little markup things you need. I've been missing that for a while. I had like a little printout on my desk on what that is, but it's right here. So here's the different code for the alternating lines, the numbers, and you know make it kind of look like this. You can change the height and the width. Okay, so let's talk about attachments. Okay, I have an attachment in here already. I just did the attach file. And what I want to do is I want to put that in my document. And this is going to be an image. This is an inline image. It has to be from an attachment. Okay, so the way that works is we do two curly brackets, the name of the image, which I forget what it is now, laser-256. I think it's a GIF. And then what you need to do is, with a pipe, you need to have alternate text to make it accessible. And it will not work without that alternate text. And then the close it. So let's look at that. And then here's your laser picture. Okay, now finally I want to show you in the markup. Let's do one more thing. Let's do a link. Links are very easy as well. Let's say down here we want to have a link to a website. So we'll do HTTP, and you'll see the two square brackets. Oops. Slash. And again, you need to have some text for it. And then the closing brackets. And we have our link. And that is how you add a wiki article. Oh, and I almost forgot one of the most important things, categories and tags. So let's take a quick gander at that. Okay, so, edit. Okay, so what you want to do here is go through all these tags and hold down your Option or Command key, your Alt or Command key, that you can multiple select somehow. Okay, the Control key on Windows, and pick whichever ones that you want, that you feel your article should be in. You can also use tags as well that you can make up on the fly. And the way that works is if an article has more than one tag, then it'll hit the tag cloud. So there must be at least two articles of that. So you want to try and use something that's already in the tag cloud if it's available. And the way the navigation works is there's navigation that's in the side here for these categories, and then there's subcategories underneath it. So depending on what you pick, it may not be accessible from the side navigation. But if you go into, I don't know if this is one of them or not, but if you go into a category, oftentimes see here there's subcategories in there. So be careful and pay attention where you put your article in the categorization or so. You might want to make sure that it fits here, but then there's also the subcategories as well. So just use whichever ones make sense. Thank you very much. And that's the demo. I will say I did have one whoops when I was talking about tags. You need to have a tag in more than one article for it to hit the tag cloud. So it has to be in two different articles to hit the tag cloud. But other than that, you're good to go with tags. This is my contact information. Thank you very much.